Here we go. There we go. Hi, this is Christy Karate, and we are here in the land of Oz, open studio on Zoom. And this is a time for us to come together and explore how to create our lives as our best one ever, the best life we could live. And so today I wanted to share with you a little bit about the laws and principles and help you understand. Laws and principles are basically the same thing. Now, the book that I wrote, Beyond the Box, Beyond the Box, Creative Thinking Expanded, is it goes through the 12. Thank you. Goes through the 12. That reminds me, I should do this for the teaching part of this. It goes through 12 universal principles. Now, what 12 universal principles are, come on, have them spotlight, there we go. See, when I'm in that creative zone, I get in that creative zone and out of the tech, and I've been there all day today. So it goes through the 12 elements of art, elements and principles of art, in order to explain the universal principles of the universe, right? And so it's just another way for people to be able to access them or understand them. And so each chapter is based on a universal principle. And today we're going to talk about the law of attraction and the law of vibration, because people get the law of attraction a little bit confused. See, the law of attraction is actually a secondary law, and the law of vibration is actually a primary law. And I'm going to explain that to you today. And when I decided to go into this deep dive work into spiritual principles 40 years ago, 40 years ago, it was through a class that I could become a licensed practitioner in this work. But I didn't do it to become a practitioner. I did it because it was the only place I could find where to learn these principles and live them as my life. And so even though it is a practice every year, even though I studied that then, every year, all the time, I stay in this work to be able to greatly use the universal principles. So today I'm going to explain the difference between the law of attraction. Well, I'm going to explain both laws, and then, because it's very useful, all of it is, but how we want to use them. So first of all, the law of attraction is the thing that we do when we create a vision for our lives. It's actually a linear process where we design the life that we want to live. Now, the reason we want to design the life we want to live is we have a choice, but we don't often know it, to either live by design or by default. Now, which would you choose? If you remembered to choose, right? Yeah, number one. So we want to live our life by design. And what that means is that the 90% of the habitual thinking that we think from every day, we need to start getting a lasso around it to start thinking our own thoughts. And so the law of attraction is the beginning step of that. And we want to look at, oh, well, if I did have the life that I want, what would it be? And I have a guideline for if your vision is good enough for you. First of all, is it worthy of the time you're going to put into making it happen? But also, the thing about a vision is that it can be a guiding force, a guiding concept for us in, guess what? Living in the moment. What are you talking about? Living in, creating a future design to live in the moment? Well, this is how it works. See, we mostly live by default at this point in time, but when we write a vision and we start using it as a tool and we say, okay, is this decision I'm making right now moving me in the direction I've been painting, paint on my hands, moving in the direction of my vision, or is it taking me away from my vision? See, and what that does is it helps you to be thinking the thoughts that you want to be thinking in this moment. So it's no longer, is it good or bad? It's, does this move me in the direction of the person I want to be? In this program, we study values and our own personal values, and it's like, does this decision help me move in that direction? So the law of attraction can best be described as when you use visualization. So when you are visualizing the house of your dreams, the travel of your dreams, whatever it is that you are envisioning. Okay, so you visualize it. But that is actually kind of, one-dimensional, maybe two. So in the book, I talk about where are you now, and where do you want to move to? And that helps you figure out the steps of moving to your vision. Those are the moments you go, oh, is this leading me to my vision, right? Well, and then we can create vision boards. I heard somebody calling it action boards. I've been listening to this book called The Source, which is a really good and valuable book. But she calls vision boards action boards, which I like better because it's about putting that one foot in front of the other. But the law of vibration is a feeling experience of as if it's already happening now. And you can visualize that way, but most people think about it in the future. But we want to put the suit on. I actually have the book open to something that Mary Morrissey said about the law of vibration. Every single one of us is a broadcast station. We're broadcasting a vibration of the major thoughts we're holding. Those thoughts tend to show up on the way we hold our faces, the way our shoulders are tensed or relaxed. It shows up in how much we walk with a lift in our step or a heaviness as in a dredge, And so it is what you are living as now. And whatever you are living as now, the vibration you are producing now is what is creating everything in your life. I can look around and tell you the vibrational frequency by looking in your checkbook, by looking in your home, by looking, I used to think if employers, when they're doing interviews with people, went out and looked in people's cars, they'd get a lot to know what kind of a person this is, right? A messy person or a clean person or whatever, right? So what is your ongoing vibration? That is what is determining your life. Now, I'm going to tell a silly joke story that my mentor, Mary Morrissey, tells. So it's about this guy, and he was unemployed, and he really needed a job. And he saw an ad in the newspaper, and it said, needed X amount, open position, X amount of dollars available, but no details until you come for the interview. And so not only was it a good income, but the guy was curious. So he gets there and he goes, okay, I'm here. The guys go, you can't tell anybody about this. It was at the zoo. By the way, this job was at the zoo. He says, our gorilla has escaped. And we need somebody to dress up as a gorilla, act like a gorilla, so that the public doesn't know the gorilla's on the loose. Right? And you can't tell anybody that you are the gorilla. And so the guy says, for the money, that's a good deal. I'll do that. And so he goes, puts on the gorilla suit, and he starts, doing his gorilla thing. And pretty soon there's a crowd around him. He starts swinging on the swings. He starts tossing the ball, all kinds of things. Pretty soon there's big crowds around the gorilla cage. And one day he gets up on his swing and he goes swinging out and swinging back and swinging out. And all of a sudden he's over the lion's cage, and he slips and falls into the lion cage, and he starts shouting as a person instead of as the gorilla. Oh no. And the guy, the lion goes, shh, Don't give it away. We'll lose our jobs. But the idea is you want to be so convincing when you put on your suit of who you want to become, because that's what creates the vibration. You know, one of the, I teach a class called the miracle, how to manifest miracles, or and the second step is sparkle your vision. And that's actually the vibrational frequency. So when you write a vision, and you're all welcome to, you heard it in the, if you listen to recording one, week one, it tells you you can send me your vision anytime, and I will give you feedback on it. Okay, so if you'd like to do that, you can send it to Christy, CHRISTI, at masteringtheartoflife.com. And that should be all over my, all over my material and so forth. But just send it, put vision in it so that I know to search. Because when I go back to work on them, I search who sent me a vision. So I go vision, and I pull up all those visions, and I work on it, calibrate them, and send them back to you. So, and how I send them back to you is with the vibrational frequency lifted so that you can feel it. So the difference in saying, I want to travel to Italy, right? Janice is over here. She's going to go to Italy with me next May. I want to travel to Italy. And instead of going, okay, so I have to do this and this and this to get to know. You sit there and you go, I'm sitting in a little cafe on the promenade looking out over the Mediterranean Sea. I take a little sip of my cappuccino, and you go there, you be there, you feel it, you experience it. Okay, then we come back to that step that I said, what is a step? Then you go back and say, okay, so if that's who I am becoming, what's a step I can take today? And that's what moving from your current point to your new set point. What are the steps that I can take today? And I recommend that you do 3 steps a day that moves you in the direction of your vision. Now, I'm not saying go out and book your ticket to Italy. I'm saying, well, like with Janice here, we're going to get her passport renewed. It's like something as simple as, what is it I need to do today? The other thing is, sometimes, like, I come into my studio, I'm the creative sort, right? So my studio turns into a creative place. And then I have a group coming in, and I go, oh, well, I better clean up my studio. That's a step in the direction. What is it that allows you to move in the direction of your new becoming? And if you want to know, I was starting to say this before and I didn't finish. If you want to know if your dream is worthy of you, every time I say that, I lose my thought. That's so interesting. Oh, I know what it is. It's like, if you have a desire, you can test it with, is it for the good of all and to the harm of no one? So that's a good way to test your desire. Is it for the good of all and to the harm of no one? Okay, because desire is, unless it comes from envy or some of the lower vibrational frequency types of things, which we will talk about probably next week, then desire is actually the divine wanting to express through us. Whatever your word is, you use your interchangeable word, God, divine, Buddha, universal principles, whatever it is. But you would not have the desire unless it was being something in your life is affecting you, either the divine or maybe the envy, so you want to ask those questions. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording.